Number 9. You're hiking through a remote valley in Siberia. The air is still, the ground is frozen, and without warning, the earth opens up. A gaping hole 100 feet deep swallows trees, snow, and silence. No explosion, no earthquake, just void. For years, scientists called it a mystery. Locals whispered about the earth breathing. Some said it was a portal to the underworld. But we've cracked it. What's happening beneath your feet is way stranger than any myth. These are methane blowholes, and they're not just in Siberia. They're spreading seed deep under the Arctic permafrost. Ancient organic matter has been rotting for thousands of years. As the planet warms, that frozen ground is thawing, releasing trapped methane, a gas 80 times more potent than CO. Pressure builds. And when it can't take it anymore, boom. The ground erupts like a zit the size of a building. In 2014, the first one was spotted from space. A perfect crater ringed with ejected soil like something from a sci-fi movie. Since then, over 20 have appeared across northern Russia. Some are still venting gas, hissing like angry dragons. But here's the twist. These aren't one-time explosions. They can refill and blow again. Scientists have found craters that collapsed, then reinflated, then blew a second time. It's like the Earth has a pulse. And get this, some of these craters are forming under lakes. When they blow, they send tsunami-like waves across the water, flooding nearby tundra. One even knocked over a research drone flying overhead. We used to think permafrost thaw was slow, silent. Now we know it can be violent. And as temperatures rise, these blowholes could become more frequent, releasing more methane, cheats the planet, which melts more permafrost. It's a feedback loop from hell. So next time you hear about climate change, don't just picture melting ice. Picture the ground exploding beneath your feet. Number 8. You're flying over the Pacific Ocean at night. The water below is black. Then, without warning, the ocean starts glowing, not in patches, not in ripples. It's a perfect, gigantic rectangle, over 60 miles long, lit up like a neon billboard in the middle of nowhere. Pilots have seen it, satellites have photographed it, and for years, no one could explain it. Was it a secret military experiment? A submerged alien city? A glitch in the Matrix? Turns out it's fishing, but not like you've ever seen. This is the work of Chinese squid boats, a fleet of over 400 vessels that use light so powerful they can be seen from space. These ships don't use nets, they use light as a weapon. Here's how it works. Giant lead arrays, each as bright as 1,000 car headlights, are lowered into the water. The light attracts squid drawn to it like moths to a flame. Then, vacuum pumps suck them up by the ton, but from space. It looks like a geometric light show painted on the ocean. And because these boats work at night, in international waters, they're nearly invisible to authorities. Scientists first spotted these glowing rectangles in 2017, using NASA's Swami satellite. At first, they thought it was a sensor error. Then they realized this was industrial-scale fishing, hidden in plain sight. One fleet alone porting near the Galapagos, was catching 500,000 tons of squid a year. That's more than the entire annual catch of some countries. And here's the scary part. These lights disrupt entire ecosystems. Fish, turtles, and seabirds get drawn in, confused, and die. Juvenile squid that should be growing up to reproduce are vacuumed up before they mature. We finally explained the glowing ocean, but the real story isn't science. It's greed. A silent, glowing war on marine life fought under the cover of darkness. Next time you eat calamari, ask yourself, was it caught under a light so bright it lit up the sea from space? Number 7. You're standing on a beach in Namibia. The sand is red, the wind is howling, and then you see it. Hundreds of perfect circles stretching for miles, like something a giant comb drew across the desert. No footprints, no animal trails, just empty rings in the sand. Locals call them fairy circles. For decades, scientists argued over what caused them. Termites? Toxic plants? Underground gas leaks? Some believed they were the breath marks of a subterranean dragon. Others thought they were UFO landing pads. But in 2023, after 40 years of debate, we finally cracked it. It's not termites. It's not aliens. It's plants fighting to survive. Here's the truth. These circles are self-organized survival patterns. In one of the driest places on Earth, every drop of water counts. And plants. They're ruthless. When rain falls, grasses sprout, but only the strongest survive. So weaker ones die, leaving bare soil. That soil absorbs water faster than grassy areas. So the surviving plants near the edge of the circle steal moisture from the center. Over time, this creates a feedback loop. Grass grows in a ring, the center stays bare, the ring expands outward. New rings form nearby, it's like the desert is organizing itself to survive. But here's where it gets wild. These same patterns have been found in Australia.
North America.
And even computer simulations of ancient Mars, yes, Mars. Scientists now believe that if life ever existed there, it might have left behind similar geometric patterns in the soil. So when we send rovers to Mars, we're not just looking for fossils. We're looking for fairy circles. So the next time you hear about little green men, remember, the real magic isn't in little men. It's in grass that engineers the desert. Asterisk number 6. You're walking through a forest in Japan. It's quiet. It's peaceful. Then without warning, you hear laughter. Not human. It's high-pitched. Echoing. And it's coming from inside the trees. You freeze. Is someone playing a prank? Is the forest haunted? No. You're hearing the singing trees of Shikoku phenomenon so bizarre. Even locals avoid the area at night. For years, people reported hearing giggling, whispering, even singing coming from the cypress trees. Some said it sounded like children. Others swore it was spirits of the dead. But in 2018, a team of acoustic engineers set up microphones and finally recorded it. And the answer? Wind. But not just any wind. These trees have hollow trunks riddled with insect tunnels. Over decades, beetles have carved intricate networks inside the wood like a natural flute. When the wind blows at just the right speed and angle, it turns the entire forest into a living wind instrument. Each tree makes a different tone. Some whistle. Some laugh. It's not supernatural. It's nature's orchestra. But here's the eerie part. Da-da-da-da-da. The sound only happens under perfect conditions. Low humidity, steady wind, no rain. So for most of the year, the forest is silent. Then, one night, the wind hits just retanned. The trees wake up. And if you're standing there when it happens, you'll swear the forest is alive. Which, in a way, it is. Number 5. You're flying over Antarctica, below you. Endless ice. Then out of nowhere, a massive blood red waterfall pours from the side of a glacier. It looks like the ice is bleeding, and for over a century, that's exactly what scientists thought. In 1911, explorer Griffith Taylor discovered blood falls, a 5-story cascade of red liquid gushing from the tongue of the Taylor Glacier. No one could explain it. Was it algae? Volcanic minerals? Some unknown microbe? They took samples, found nothing. Then in 2017, using ground-penetrating radar, they finally saw what was beneath the ice. A subglacial lake, trapped for over 2 million years, rich in iron and salt. When that water leaks out and hits the air, the iron oxidizes, instantly turning the water blood red. But that's not the wildest part. Inside that lake, life. Microbes that have survived in total darkness. Under crushing pressure, with no oxygen, for millions of years, they breathe sulfate instead of oxygen. They eat iron and sulfur like we eat bread. They are quite literally aliens on Earth. And here's the kicker. These organisms are so different from anything else on the planet. They might represent a shadow biosphere, a parallel tree of life that evolved completely separately. If that's true, then Earth might not have just one origin of life. It might have had several. And if life can survive, he'll under ice. It's in darkness with no sunlight. Then what about Europa and Enceladus? Maybe the first proof of alien life isn't in space. It's been bleeding from a glacier in Antarctica this whole time. Number 4. You're in a cave in Vietnam. The walls are wet, the air is thick, and you see it. Thousands of tiny dots glowing on the ceiling. Not fireflies, not mushrooms. These are worms, and they're hunting. Meet the Arachnocompa luminosad, the glowworm that turns caves into traps of light. Each worm hangs from the ceiling on a thread of silk. Then, it glows not to attract mates, but to lure prey. It's like a fisherman with a lantern, dangling bait in the dark. But here's the genius part. The light isn't just bright, it's perfectly calibrated. Too dim, and no insects come. Too bright, and they get suspicious. So these worms adjust their glow based on the ambient light, like nature's smart bulbs and their traps. It's even more insane. They don't just hang one thread. They hang up to 70 sticky filaments, each coated with mucus and toxins. When a gnat flies toward the light snap, it hits the web, gets stuck, and is slowly reeled in like a fish. But here's the twist. The light isn't even made by the worm. It's made by bacteria living inside it. Yes, this tiny creature farms glowing bacteria in its body, feeding them nutrients, then using their light like a tool. It's the only known animal that domesticates microbes for light. So the next time you think humans invented farming, remember, a blind worm in a cave figured out biotech millions of years ago. Number 3. You're in Death Valley. It's 120 degrees. The lake bed is cracked and dry. Then you see them. Rocks moving on their own. No wind, no animals. Just stones. Some weighing 700 pounds gliding across the desert, leaving trails behind them. For decades, this was one of geology's greatest mysteries. Scientists set up cameras, waited years. And in 2014, they finally caught it on film. And the answer? Ice. But not the kind you think. Here's how it works. At night, a thin layer of rain freezes into window pane, ice just a few millimeters thick. By morning, the sun warms the ice, causing it to crack and float. Even a light breeze, just 10 miles per hour, is enough to push these ice sheets across the mud. And if a rock is sitting on one, it rides the ice like a raft. As the ice moves, the rock scrapes a trail in the soft mud below. When the ice melts, the rock is left behind miles from where it started. It's not ghosts. It's not aliens. It's nature's ice boats. But here's the catch. This only happens. It's under perfect conditions, rain at night, freezing temperatures clear. Skies at dawnlight winds, so for most of the year, the rocks sit still. Then, one magical morning, the desert comes alive with sliding stones. And if you're not there to see it, you'll never believe it happened. Number 2, you're in the Sahara. The sun is brutal. The sand is endless. Then out of nowhere, you see a perfect spiral of stones, stretching for hundreds of feet. No human footprints, no tools, just rocks arranged in a mathematical vortex. For years, people thought it was ancient art, a ritual site, even a message. Then, in 2022, a biologist solved it. It's made by desert ants, not termites, not rodents. Ants. These aren't your backyard picnic crashers. These are Messer Barbarousta, architects of the desert. They collect pebbles to build thermal shields over their nests. The stones absorb heat during the day and radiate it at night, keeping the colony warm. But why the spiral? Because it's the most efficient shape. It maximizes coverage, minimizes gaps. And it grows outward as the colony expands from space. These spirals look like crop circles, but they're not messages from space. They're air. Conditioning systems built by insects smaller than your fingernail. And get this, each spiral is unique. No two are the same. It's like every ant colony has its own architectural signature. So the next time you think only humans can design, remember, an ant in the desert might be running a better construction company than you. Number 1, you're in Iceland. The ground is steaming, sky is gray. Then without warning, the entire lake starts boiling, not metaphorically, literally. Bubbles the size of basketballs burst on the surface. The water churns. The steam rises in thick clouds. This is Lake Kleifarvanand. In 2000, it lost 20% of its water overnight. Scientists were baffled. Was it a leak? A hidden tunnel? A sinkhole? Then, in 2009, after years of study, they found the culprit. A tectonic rift opened beneath the lake. Iceland sits on the mid-Atlantic ridge where two tectonic plates are pulling apart. When the plates shifted, crack formed under the lake, water poured into the earth. Thousands of gallons per second. It wasn't disappearing. It was being swallowed by the planet. But here's the wild part. The crack wasn't stable. It opened, then closed, then opened again, so the lake didn't just drain. It pulsed, like the earth was breathing through it. And the boiling, its geothermal heat rising through the same fissures, superheating the remaining water. This isn't just a lake. It's a window into the planet's inner machinery. And if the rift opens wide enough one day, the entire lake could vanish in minutes. So the next time you think the ground is solid, remember beneath your feet that earth is cracking, breathing, swallowing, and boiling. And we're just beginning to understand it. And that's it. From exploding permafrost to singing trees, from blood waterfalls to Antarctica's nature doesn't need myths to be magical. The truth? It's stranger, wilder, and more uninspiring than any legend. We used to fear these phenomena, blame spirits, invent gods. Now, we're finally understanding them. Not because we're smarter, but because we stopped looking for magic and started looking for patterns. If you made it this far, if you've just witnessed the hidden mechanics of our planet, and trust me, there are dozens more where this came from, hit subscribe.